I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Kushner,
Here.
Osborne,
Here.
Latari, here, Jones, here, Euler.
Here. Approval of city council minutes?
I move to approve as presented.
Kushner,
Yeah.
Osborne,
Yes.
Latari,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Euler.
Yes.
Thank you.
Adoption of agenda?
Move to adopt agenda as presented?
Kushner,
Yes.
Osborne,
Yes.
Latari,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Euler.
Yes.
Thank you.
Two proclamations tonight. It's always good. Arbor Day. Anyone here to represent for Arbor Day? Looking for, oh, all right,
I guess not.
okay.
Ah.
Would you like to come up?
I'll be happy to stay right here.
All right. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Arbor Day, April 24th, 2026. Whereas the city of Warrensburg earned recognition as the 2025 Tree City USA program of the Arbor Day Foundation and takes pride in creating a community that places unique value on the planting and caring of trees. And whereas Warrensburg shows its dedication and commitment to urban forestry by the dedicated efforts through its Energy and Sustainability Task Force, volunteers who are committing an annual community forestry budget of at least $2 per capita and promoting an annual Arbor Day observance. And whereas trees being planted and cared for by our community ensure that generations to come will enjoy a better quality of life. And whereas planting trees in an urban space comes with a myriad of benefits, helping to reduce energy consumption by up to 25%, which will reduce greatly general energy costs and help with the overall cooling of the city. And whereas planting trees in an urban space helps members of the community benefit from properly placed trees as they increase property values from 7 to 20%. Trees also positively affect the local ecosystem by helping to clean water and create animal habitats to encourage biodiversity. Now therefore, I, Bruce D. Euler, Mayor of the City of Warrensburg, along with the members of the Warrensburg City Council, declare that April 24th is our community's Arbor Day. In witness whereof, I hear and set my hand and seal this 13th day of April, 2026. I think I have somebody here.
Yeah. I'll take it for the team.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, sir.
National Volunteer Week.
Yeah.
Volunteers?
Volunteer?
There's a lot of volunteers.
You're all volunteers, so thank you for coming out tonight. I appreciate it. We really do have a great group of volunteers here tonight, so this is for you all. National Volunteer Week, April 19th through 25th, 2026. Whereas National Volunteer Week was established by presidential proclamation in 1974 and provides an opportunity to recognize the impact of volunteer service. And whereas volunteers are an essential part of this community, serving in many capacities at schools, faith-based organizations, nonprofits, community groups, and local municipal government. Whereas the city has 12 volunteer boards and commissions that reflect the community's variety of interests. And whereas these volunteer boards and commissions help support and guide the city's services, including public safety, arts and cultural programs, planning and zoning, building code, Children's Memorial Fund, diversity, equity and inclusion, sustainability, historic preservation, health and wellness, and economic development. And whereas this recognition serves as a testament to the transformative power of volunteerism, showcasing the collective efforts of individuals who selflessly contribute to building stronger, more resilient communities. Now therefore, I, Bruce D. Euler, Mayor, Warrensburg, Missouri, along with members of the Warrensburg City Council, do hereby proclaim the week of April 19th to 25, 2026 as National Volunteer Week. Mayoral appointments. Motion to approve mayoral appointments.
Motion to approve appointments as presented?
Kushner,
Yes.
did,
I have read them.
okay. Kushner. Yes. Osborne.
Yes.
Latari.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Euler.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mayoral appointments, reappoint Shari Box as a member of the Planning and Zoning Commission for a second term through April 2030. Wow, that's a long 2030. It's
2030.
man. Appoint Charlie Rutt as a member of the Planning and Zoning Commission for an expired term through April 2027. Appoint Gina Martinez as a member of the Board of Adjustment for a first term through April 2031. And appoint Will Matson as Director of the Parks and Recreation Board for an unexpired term.
Through June 27.
Through June 2027. Thank you. Number 7. 7.1, an ordinance declaring the results of the election of 2 council members for a 3-year term at the general election held on Tuesday, April 7th, 2026.
Mayor, if I might
Yes, please.
present. Thank you, Mayor and City Council. This ordinance we present tonight is to adopt the certified election results, which just came in this afternoon from the Johnson County Clerk's Office. If I may read those, the certified election results for the April 7th, 2026 municipal election are as follows. Council members vote for 2 for a 3-year term. Max Ridenhour, 774 votes, and Jan Jones, 812 votes. Those are certified election results. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
No questions.
No questions. Thank you.
Are we ready to move? to Second reading.
Mhm.
Motion to move to second reading.
Kushner,
Yes.
Osborne,
Yes.
Latari.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Euler.
Yes.
An ordinance declaring the results of the election of 2 council members for a 3-year term at the general election held on Tuesday, April 7th, 2026. This is for adoption or rejection. Kushner,
Yes.
Osborne,
Yes.
Latari.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Euler.
Yes.
Thank you.
Number 8, council sine die, swearing in of new council members.
Well,
Yep. Should
we need to present. Present those first.
Perfect, your service.
Thank you.
Mhm. Jim's going off tonight, of course, after 6 years. Fire chief and fire department, how many years city of Warrensburg?
Total city of Warrensburg, 45 years.
45 years city of Warrensburg. Very grateful for your service. I know Kathy will be happy that you guys can take those road trips more often. So here we go from the city. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're appreciated.
Is it your $3? It's your
Yes, no, I get six dollars.
6, that's right.
For everything.
They'll spend it in one place.
Okay,
6 years worth of pay right there. Don't spend it all in one place, Jim.
yeah, tip it Sonic. All
Okay.
right, thank you all. Have a nice time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. That's all, folks, right? See you, Jim.
You're not gonna stay for the meeting? Oh.
We have a certificate of recognition with respect and gratitude. The certificate and recognition coin are given to Jan Jones for 3 years of dedicated exemplary service and leadership as a council member of the city of Warrensburg after being duly elected on April 4th, 2023. Okay.
You can stand up if you'd like.
And you thought we were through. Well, on behalf of the city of Warrensburg, we've got you a bag of tissue paper. No, we thank you for everything you've done and continue to do for the city.
I had this on my wall. I had to give it back.
I added a few things,
Yeah.
so.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for.
Thank you. Swearing in of new council members.
Yes.
Let's do you both at the same time, if you would. Come down to the floor. Swearing in Jan Jones and Max Ridenhour. You would, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name,
I,
Max Ridenhour,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess
that I possess
all the qualifications
all the qualifications
for the office of city council member
for the office of city council member
as prescribed by law,
as prescribed by law,
that I support the Constitution of the United States
that I support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Missouri,
and the state of Missouri,
the provisions of all laws
the provisions of all laws
of this state
of this state
affecting cities of the third class
affecting cities of the third class
and the ordinances of the city of Warrensburg.
and the ordinances of the city of Warrensburg.
Sorry.
Oh, good.
Thank you, Lyndall, for letting Jan do this. And Maddie, where's Maddie? Maddie's
And
back there.
Maddie.
Thank you also.
Comfortable?
Yes, this is great. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
You ready for this, Max?
Ready?
Roll call.
Ridenhour,
Here.
Osborne,
Here.
Latari,
Here.
Jones.
Here.
Euler.
Here. Adoption of new business agenda.
I move to adopt the agenda.
Ridenhour,
Yes.
Osborne,
Yes.
Latari,
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Euler.
Yes.
Okay.
Election of mayor.
I nominate the Honorable Mayor Bruce Euler to continue as our mayor.
Second.
Second. Oh, third.
Oh,
Thank you.
Ridenhour,
Yes.
Osborne,
Yes.
Latari.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Euler.
Yes.
Thank you. I know.
Could be the only no. Election of chairperson pro tem.
I would like to nominate Chairperson Susie Latari as
I would like to nominate Councilmember Jan Jones.
Uh-oh.
So what you could do at this point is ask them to say a few words
Yes.
about why they would fill this position, and then we can vote.
Okay. Jamie would like to say a few words on,
Me first?
yes, please.
I've served on the council for the last 3 years, and I think that the next obvious step for me is to serve as mayor pro tem. I'm not interested in being mayor, but mayor pro tem is kind of a transitional position typically for that. But I see it as a transitional position for me as an individual, not so much as moving up to the mayor's position in the future. So under those circumstances, if you're still interested in having me, I would be delighted to accept that position.
Susie?
I am honored to be nominated. Thank you, Max. I appreciate that. And I know I would enjoy that position, but I really appreciate Jan's point of view. One of the things I appreciate about you so much is that you always ask questions that I don't think of. And so while I'm honored on the nomination, I would respectfully request that we just put forward Jan's name. And I do think, especially since she has really taken the time and the effort to be an advanced municipal, I'm not going to say the certification correctly.
Close enough.
Thank you, official. I really, folks may or may not know much about that, but it does take extra time and effort to go through the various trainings and certifications that the Missouri Municipal League offers, and Jan has done that. So I think you would be a fabulous mayor pro tem.
Thank you.
Thank you, Susie. That's very nice. Okay.
Motion, we want to restate this then?
What do we need to do?
Motion to nominate Councilmember Jones. Yeah, are
Make
you
the
making?
motion to nominate Councilmember Jones as mayor pro tem of the city of Warrensburg.
Okay.
I second that.
Breidenauer,
Yes.
Osborne,
Yes.
Latari.
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Euler.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
It's both of you.
Okay.
No.
I think we have to switch. Yeah, let's switch.
Oh, she didn't want to switch.
This is.
I know, yeah, she likes good view.
Okay.
And I can hear.
We have a great city council. Really happy to be a part of it. Sorry we lose Jim after all these years, but he's gone fishing now, so welcome to the group. Max, welcome. Really happy you're here.
I'm glad to be.
A great volunteer and community leader, so thank you. Item 14, motion to award the 2026 Nancy J. Anderson, Charles W. Stevenson Education Endowment Scholarship in the amount of $1,000 to Tyler Wine, presented by Mike Scraggs, City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to start by acknowledging that the city clerk really did all the work behind this. Somehow the city manager gets the honor of presenting this, and I know that you touched on it, and most of you probably are aware of kind of the background, but want to give a little bit of context for those that may not. So as you mentioned, it's the Nancy Anderson Charles Stevenson Education Endowment Fund that funds the scholarship. It was put in place to honor former city clerk Nancy Anderson's 50 years of service to the city for the benefit of children of Warrensburg employees that are seeking higher education. And so it's $1,000 scholarship, and we go through an application and selection process. This year, the recommended recipient is Tyler Wine, son of Justin Wine, building inspector. And just a little bit of information about Tyler. He plans to attend State Fair Community College, pursue a degree in general studies in construction industry trades. Wonder how that happened. He's a very worthy recipient with commendable civic and extracurricular endeavors, maintaining a grade point average while employed at the Warrensburg Hy-Vee. And he's, as I said, son of the building inspector, Justin Wine, who's in the community development department. So if Tyler and your family, if you want to come forward, I have a certificate and a recognition coin, and I don't have the check, but I'm sure Jody can hook you up.
I'll
with the
take care of
check.
that. Thank you.
Tyler, I've got a certificate, a scholarship award certificate recognizing you and presenting you with a challenge coin as a recipient of the 2026 Nancy J. Anderson, Charles W. Stevenson Endowment Fund Scholarship in the amount of $1,000. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Tyler.
Thank you.
We'll have to make that motion, even though it's after the fact. Remember, you read the motion, so we'll still make that motion, okay, just to let. Okay.
Tyler, to make that official, we're going to read that motion and then
Oh, yes.
vote on that motion. Motion to award the 2026 Nancy J. Anderson, Charles W. Stevenson Education Endowment Scholarship in the amount of $1,000 to Tyler Wine.
I so move we approve.
Ridenhour,
Yes.
Osborne,
Yes.
Latari.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Euler.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And congratulations again. Thank you. Item 15, public comment of liquor license. Liquor license FIFA 2026 temporary hours. We have a public hearing. A public,
Sorry.
there's nobody here.
Oh. Public is just a public comment.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Is anyone here for make public comment? Okay.
Say anything? No?
Yeah, Mayor, if I may,
Yes.
I'll just
Please.
provide a little context and also task you with some work maybe. So as I believe you know from prior reports, FIFA World Cup is coming to Kansas City, and in anticipation of that, the state legislature passed a bill that extended the hours of sale, hours of operation and hours of sale for licensed liquor establishments statewide. And so the state statute provides that from June 11th through July 19th, essentially the dates of FIFA World Cup, not just the dates that games are played, but the entirety of that time frame from first game to last, that a licensed liquor establishment can be open 24 hours a day and can sell from 6 a.m. to 5 a.m. the following day. So a 1 hour break of not selling during that time frame. And then cities have the option of opting out of that altogether or could adopt modified regulations that are more restrictive or less inclusive than what the state statute provides. I would tell you that, as I understand it, and Marcy Barnhart, Director of the CVB, has been very helpful. As I understand it, some of the logic is that some of the cultures from other countries are used to kind of their evenings starting in their later in the day, because the games themselves are being played at kind of your typical game times here in the United States. You know, if you follow FIFA World Cup, if it's in Europe or some other country, you may have to get up at 2 a.m. to watch the game. But the games in the United States are a typical 8 p.m. To 9 p.m. So having said that, I think the state recognized that there might be desire on the part of some to be able to do something that they're used to culturally in terms of later hours for dining, drinking, and celebrating. So in anticipation of you needing to take up the question of whether you wanted to stick with the hours adopted by the state statute, opt out or amend them, staff set up a public comment opportunity. And so not only did we schedule the public comment period on today's agenda, but we also distributed a survey to the licensed liquor establishments in the community that would be subject to this requirement. And so there were 31 establishments that we had on file that we emailed and surveyed. We received responses from 3 individuals representing 4 establishments. One of those establishments was outside the city limits, and it wasn't a closed survey per se, so I think they became aware of it and filled out the survey. But from the standpoint of survey results, we didn't include their responses. And then one respondent represented two businesses. And so in the packet, you have the survey, the tabulation of the survey results. One respondent was Connor Harrington with the Checker Tavern, and the other was Stacy Fitterer with Fitters and Old Barney's. So I won't regurgitate the survey results for you, but they indicated, I would say, moderate interest, not a firm plan or an indication that they would use extended hours, just moderate interest. I think one of the things we tried to ask is if the city council chose to opt out, would it have, what type of impact would it have on their business? And trying to find that response back, but they, Connor Harrington with the Checker Tavern said minimal impact, and Stacy Fitterer with Fitters and Old Barney said moderate impact. So didn't know what to expect in the way of survey responses, but as I reported, basically 3 individuals responded. We also then did try to get the word out to the general public that they could address you as well, either for or against, and did that by way of an article that the Star Journal ran about a week ago. So I think we got the word out. So the item before you is, in light of the public comment, there's no action that you need to take this evening, but you could provide us direction on if you want us to bring anything back for your consideration. So if you do nothing, whether it's you make no decision, provide no direction, or you choose to do nothing, that would allow those extended hours to remain in place. The alternative is you could provide direction that you want to opt out entirely, go back to the hours of operation and sales that we have on the books at any other time of the year, or you could provide direction about something in between, some alternate approach. So with that, I'll pause and be happy to take any questions.
What are the normal closing hours?
That seems like a fair question. I believe it's 1 a.m., 1:30. Okay.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
1:30?
1:30. 1:30 is closing, and then is there a rule about last time of service?
They start trying to do last call around 1:10, 1:15,
Okay.
and everybody's supposed to be out at 1:30.
Okay.
And what time can they open in the morning or at whatever, whenever they open?
Give me 1 second.
So looks like there's 3, I should have had this open again, 3 games that are starting somewhere between 8 and 9. Is that right? I'm sorry. Does someone else have that pulled up? Then thank you. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4 games that are starting late-ish. Anybody have any idea how long a typical football game lasts?
90 minutes, non-stop action.
90 minutes. That's what I'm talking about.
And
That's
stoppage
Americans
time.
could learn.
Yeah, right. It could go a little bit longer due to stoppage time.
Yeah,
Usually well under 2 hours.
okay. So let's just say it's 2 hours. That's 2 hours more beyond that at the latest. For a 9 o'clock game, say it goes 2 hours, probably wouldn't, but if it did, at 11, there's still 2 more hours of drinking currently.
Well, and then there would be travel time for people that are attending the games to come back here.
And for
Yeah,
those that
so-
don't have tickets,
I forewarned Marcy that I might call on her for her input, and it might be useful in terms of, I don't know that you're gonna have people go to the game in Kansas City and then travel back here to celebrate. It's probably more likely people that watch the game locally but Marcy, do you want to add anything in terms of what you've learned and
Yeah, I'd love to hear.
visitors or stays?
So you may have already heard, we will not have the 3rd round trip with the Missouri River Runner. So it'll be regular times. And with the traffic situation at where the games are going to be held, the games are going to be held in Kansas City at Arrowhead, Connick KC Stadium. There will be very, very limited, basically no parking there. So it would be rideshare shuttle services. They're having something called Region Direct. So the closest Region Direct location will be Lee Summit. So you could drive to Lee Summit, get on a shuttle bus, and it would take you to Fan Fest. From there, you're going to get on another bus and go to Stadium Direct Stadium. As I said that, you're all thinking time, right? So we said the 90 minutes after the game. And you're right, you got a 9 o'clock game. You got 90 minutes, you're getting back on that shuttle. When's your time to get back on that shuttle? You're not getting back here. And so I have reached out to my hotel, our hotels in Warrensburg. I went out just this morning, talked to our 3 of our general managers. The nights of the games, the nights of Fan Fest, because Fan Fest is 18 days. It is the nights of the games, but then it's also 12 other days throughout FIFA festivities. And they are seeing 1 to 2, 3 night stays at the max. So they're not seeing long extended stays. So seeing those that are coming for the actually attending the games, maybe not so much, but if they are, they're probably going to drive to Lee Summit and hope and get back whenever they get back. We're going to see those that are going to go to Fan Fest, and they're going to come back through because of the price and our location. That's what we're ultimately going to see. And that's what our general managers, and that's what my board feels like this is going to be the primary factor for those deciding to stay outside the Kansas City metro area is price and location. So any other questions I can help answer?
Are they full, the hotels?
No, they are not full. They are not full. We have a lot of rooms, and we just had a board meeting on Thursday, WCBB board meeting. We have a board member who has, he works with 5 different hotels in the Kansas City metro, and he said that none of them are full. So there's one that's 15 miles from Arrowhead Stadium, and they have less rooms than the one we have at Fairfield, occupied for World Cup.
Today, I feel like I heard something, and I don't want this to be hearsay, so somebody please correct me, that there was some discussion at the federal level about some sort of, I'm going to call it the wrong thing, tariff or charge to come on a certain kind of visa, visiting visa from certain countries.
There's a $15,000 bond for those coming from 50 different countries.
Is that for real?
Yes, I believe so.
15,000 per person.
I apologize.
I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
$15,000.
$15,000 for those coming from 50 different countries.
Bond.
And they, from what I have read, now I'm no expert, put that in there. I am no expert, but what I have read is that when they depart and their passport is scanned and they are back on the plane, then they are automatically, that 15,000 is given back to them.
Mm.
But interesting to know, one of those countries is Algeria, and they have a team base camp in Lawrence. So that there, Lawrence is very aware of that bond.
Any of the other ones listed here?
I'm not aware of those. I just saw that Lawrence is being truly impacted by that new news.
And it's not like a bail bond where you put up a percentage. It's like where you put up the whole.
It's the same idea as that, it's like a cash bond instead of there's the standard bond that you're thinking of where you put up 10%, and then there's cash only bonds, which we use a lot in municipal court because of small numbers. So this would be a cash only situation. And the US State Department has the list of countries on their website published. It's a temporary visa bond, essentially, that you pay the money to get the temporary visa, you return, you get the money back by not overstaying your temporary visa. So that if they overstay, not only do we have their information, we also have a financial penalty in place already. That's the idea.
Thank you, Marcy.
Thanks,
Thank
Marcy.
you, Marcy.
And thanks, Adam.
I did have a question too on, sorry, Marcy, not specifically for you, but for the police chief. I'm sorry. The one concern I had was just people causing issues, especially well into the night. Is the police department equipped to take that on if we did extend those hours?
So I'm actually presenting next council meeting regarding to a MOU with KCPD. We have some officers interested in going up to KC to assist them. The Chief Stacy Graves sent us a letter requesting that participation. They've assisted us in the past. So we're looking at going that way if it gets approved. But that's staffing allowed. So depending on what happens with this, whether or not we staff up more, just depends. Right now you have most everybody, all the bars are pretty well shut down at 1:30 and get most people out at 1:10, shut down at 1:10, 1:15, most people out at 1:30. There's a couple that like to push the limits right up to 1:30, 1:31. So that's some of the issues I think you're gonna run into, and one way or another, I've said before, anything after 11 midnight is usually not great. So anyway.
Thanks, Chief.
Are all of our bars in good standing with the city and the state as far as their license?
Right now, everybody's
good.
playing well and doing what they're supposed to. One likes to push the limit a little bit in that instance, but that's pretty minor, so.
Yeah, I just,
I'm just thinking of as a former establishment owner, how much would I have to bring in to make it worthwhile to have staff there?
23 out of 24 hours a day is a long time, and to staff up for that, if you don't have the staffing already for it, I would think as a business owner, I'd really have to look at that to even consider it myself, but.
Yeah,
Does it have to be?
clarify, yeah, you don't have to stay open those entire hours,
Right.
but some of the survey questions, we tried to get at the question of how would you implement? And really didn't get much in the way of speculation on their part of what hours they might be open. It was more just kind of, they'd wait and see what the response was like, so. But I was thinking the same thing, you've got a cost benefit consideration there, how much patronage will you get compared to your staffing expense?
I mean, to me, the fact that only 3 people responded, 3 establishments, 2 owners responded, tells us a lot that it's not something that many people who serve alcohol by the drink are feeling very strongly about. And as someone who used to work in the harm prevention field at the university, you know, I have a very strong bias against adding more opportunities for people to drink late at night when decisions are worse, when our police officers have to work harder, when, you know, we may or may not have enough free rides home, you know, safe rides home for people. And especially considering our students who, you know, that was who our main audience was there. But for me, it's an obvious no. If every single business owner had responded and said, we really want this, I would certainly be open to having conversations about maybe an hour or 2 later. But to me, the business community, which I care a lot about, our small businesses make up the heart of this community, but they are not telling us this is what they want. It seems very obvious to me. There was a really excellent effort by the city, but also the chamber and Warrensburg Main Street to make sure that our small business owners had every chance to communicate to us about that. And only 2 did, and they were not, sort of, yes, you must do this, but like, yeah, we probably would, we might, and, so I don't know if anyone else has strong feelings about extending the hours, but I'm certainly a no for 23 hours.
Yeah, and I definitely understand that. And I think maybe not the full 23 hours, but I think at least giving the businesses opportunity to the option if they wanted to, because it's clear we only had 3 respondents, but maybe some of these other bars would want to reconsider closer to June. We were asking for this 4 months out. Things might change here in the next couple of months, but at least giving them the option. And if we don't have anybody open, then okay, we didn't even have to take action on it. But if we wanted to limit those hours, we would have to take action on it. That is not the most business friendly route either. Whenever they do have the option to make the extra money if they wanted to open and staff their businesses for that time.
And
And if it's not going to be a major impact on the police department too, because that's the major thing. If it's going to be an impact on city services, then we would need to consider that. But
We'd have to evaluate it when we get closer to that time.
And I think if we did that, it would be important that if they're going to stay open for any period of any of those additional hours, that they have to notify the city that they've opted to do that so that all involved are aware. The police department is aware, everybody else is aware that, and you know, you need to staff up for it or nobody's gonna do it. If you don't hear from anybody, then
I think that's a great solution. Is that a possibility? Can you require notification like that?
It's not baked into the statutes, so we can't require more than what the state statute requires of businesses to do. From that standpoint, so if they have a license, they have a license and they can operate.
isn't it more of a courtesy? act
Yeah,
of
I mean,
Courtesy?
I think it would make more sense, it would almost be the flip side where we would go to them and say, hey, we're trying to make sure we know which businesses. I mean, I definitely think absolutely, I would think that you all would wanna know who's open and who's not open. For sure, because even if it's not really, even if they're just open to be open and not soccer related.
Yeah, so this is purely speculation on my part, but one scenario that seems plausible to me is an operator just kind of sizes up the crowd and stays
Yeah.
open until business dwindles to the point it's not
And
worth
then-
it to
Now,
them.
are those times set in,
Right.
That's what I'm thinking.
are those times set in stone? And would we have to be, would they have to be open 23 hours or?
No, we
Go
can
to-
choose,
Oh,
we can say, and later, hour later, 2 hours later, an hour early, we can choose all that.
The current statutory
Wasn't
scheme
sure.
and ordinance scheme provides for the 1:30 AM closing time with the 6 and 6:30, depending on which day of the week you're looking at. Opening or sale time starting, so they're not actually changing the morning times, they're just taking the 1:30, pushing that to 5 AM. Leaving 1 hour to, I guess, clean up and turn around and reopen. But that's all they've done is extended the 1:30 to 5 AM.
So you would, as the council, have the authority to dial that 5 back somewhere between 1:30 and 5 if you chose. But you would need to do it by ordinance. We would need to go through that process, adopt it, communicate it. Didn't really contemplate changing it partway through if we have change our mind, but trying to set this up so that you're providing direction and then we can communicate it to the.
And we would have to make this decision by when?
The, as I said, I didn't really think about changing midway through the
16th.
event, but I think you would want to give the businesses the opportunity to understand what the parameters are and then be able to market if they so chose. So I think it's really a function of how far in advance you want to provide them direction in advance of that first game, which is June
June
11th.
16th.
June 16th.
Locally. Yeah. And just to underscore it, doing nothing means they are able to be open. So you don't have to do anything for them to avail themselves of this.
Mhm.
You just have to decide if you want to restrict it.
Right.
That's it.
Which would be June 8th. The June 8th meeting would be the last time we could take action on this.
Say that
Well,
part again.
It'd
No,
be our last city council meeting before the first
Yeah,
game.
we'd
Sorry
need
to
to do it.
confuse it, and Adam and I haven't talked about this, but I guess you could, midway through, you could say, we don't like what we're seeing and we're gonna change it, but.
You can.
Oh, you mean shut it down midway?
Well, you could adopt an ordinance. I don't think it's a drop dead date in advance of the World Cup starting. I'm not recommending it, but if you.
Yeah, I think we're talking
Somewhere
about
through
two
the-
separate things, which is courtesy to business owners
Right.
versus what can we do? What can we do? Yeah, we could say, let's see how it goes for a week. And when chief calls the first night saying, no, we can put an ordinance, we could have a special meeting, 24 hours later and change it and then see how that is received.
Well, if our hotels were fully booked, that would be one thing. I'm just thinking from my own perspective, and wouldn't be something that I would want to do as a business owner.
And
I'm a
I,
little more concerned too about the college kids. Well, high school kids.
Yeah.
Besides the
Yeah.
outside coming in for the motels, because that's where it'll get pushed to the limits. as
yeah,
well.
that's who's gonna be harmed, and there's some empirical data I'm happy to share with folks about what the research shows, what, you know, what not just our opinions and feelings show, but what the research shows about when you extend alcohol hours, the increased harm, increased violence, increased increased vehicle crashes. There's, you know, this is not just a potential benefit for businesses. It's a potential significant harm to some people. So I'm always going to side on that side. So I'm happy to share those data with anybody who would like them.
I'm curious, we're talking about hotel bookings. Do we have any information on not hotel bookings?
Like Airbnbs?
Hmm.
Because I would be willing to suggest that those are probably fuller faster
Mhm.
than hotels in general. Especially for something more long-term like this, if you're coming to do several days. The price point on an Airbnb is usually significantly friendlier and you have.
Good point, really good
amenities,
point.
and so that's something to consider, is that our hotel fullness probably doesn't quite tell us exactly what's going on.
It's a great point.
I don't disagree with restricting the 23 hours. I think that if our businesses want to take the opportunity, though, that they should have the opportunity to take it. Maybe not the full 23 hours, but at least allowing for the extra hours if they decide to be open for that.
And I think that if they were to decide to offer the additional hours and then they find out there's no clientele, they'll make that change on their own.
Or once again, if we find out we have a major issue and we need to strike it down, we can.
Yes.
Not ideal, but
Right.
it is an option.
So if it's helpful for your deliberations, staff does not need a definitive time. It would be helpful for you to give us feedback on whether you'd like us to draft an ordinance for consideration. If we do that, you can insert the time, you can continue to deliberate on the time.
Mike,
and
could you
amend it
hold the mic closer? I'm sorry,
Sorry.
my hearing aids are not cooperating.
Okay, so you don't have to nail down the specifics. If you can give staff some input of whether you'd like us to draft an ordinance for your consideration, you can deliberate further on the actual times that go in that ordinance when it comes back to you. If you definitively want to opt out, that takes an ordinance as well. It would be a little bit different of an ordinance. And then if you want to leave it as is, then if you could give us that direction, then we won't have to draft anything further.
I'd like to see it come back and we just take a vote on whether to adopt or reject that state option. That's what I'd like to see.
So to just allow, to vote on yes or no to allow the 23 hours with
That's my
no
opinion.
adjustment?
So just a simple opt-out ordinance.
Exactly.
The only good thing is it is, well, maybe it's not so good, but the university is not fully full with students.
That's a good point.
So that's, we won't have all 10 or 12,000 of students
And they
here.
also won't
We'll
have potential employees and students
me?
either.
You won't-
They won't have the potential employees of, you know, students of age either, but
Right.
that's a good point.
High school
Anyways.
students aren't old enough to be in establishments after a certain time.
That's correct.
Yeah, if they're not 21, they can't be in there unless they have an adult
Or a good fake ID.
or a good fake ID.
Can we see an ordinance for restricted times and for the full opt-out?
Sure. Yeah, given the conversation and trying to support you as best we can as staff, I think we'll draft both and let you deliberate.
You could leave the restricted time part just blank, we can handle it.
Right.
Mhm.
And we can walk you through making a motion to amend and voting that up or down and get you.
And maybe include something in case we have to do an emergency, shut the program down. Because it turns out to be a really bad idea.
I don't know that you would have to do anything as part of that ordinance. We just would have to call a special meeting or act at a future meeting.
Just have it ready to go.
Yep.
Should it just go terribly wrong?
If you were to elect to say restricted to 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. or something like that, and then decide, oh no, we need to just get rid of it completely, yeah, we would need to have a special meeting, pass an ordinance for that. Otherwise, we'd be passing essentially an amendment inside of an ordinance, like a trapdoor of sorts. I don't have the case law for you tonight, but I'm fairly confident that that would be a bad move.
Okay.
Mike, is that clear to you?
It is. I hope it's helpful for you trying to kind of account for all the possibilities and stay ahead of the timeline. So this is helpful. And as Councilwoman Latardi said, that I failed to mention that the chamber and Main Street were very helpful in putting the survey together, to getting the survey distributed and reaching out to their membership. So
It's unfortunate that we're not able to get the information from Airbnbs as far as, they've gone to a new platform and they're not sharing. So there's no way for us to know whether or not people really are filling up Airbnbs in our area. We
yeah,
know
that's a
nothing.
whole nother conversation, but you're correct.
Yes.
They've kind of contracted what little information they used to share.
Not to get off topic, but did we ever receive the lodging tax from those platforms? I know that was an issue a few years ago.
They declined to do that anymore. They
Understood.
put the burden on the operators themselves.
Understood.
We have taken those steps.
Yeah, we've taken those steps, but it's not as streamlined as we had initially thought that it would be.
Gotcha.
Anything else about this? Anyone? The public comments are closed. And we have a public hearing. Item 6.16.1, a public hearing on an ordinance amending chapter 27 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Warrensburg regarding setbacks for flagpoles, presented by Barbara Carroll, AICP, Director of Community Development. And no one?
Thank you, Mayor and
Thank
City
you.
Council. This is an ordinance that has come forward that staff has drafted upon review of a conceptual site plan for Veterans Park, which would be in the northwest corner of the Westview Shopping Center parking lot off of East Russell Avenue. It'd be a private park. That review included on the site plan approximately 10 or more flagpoles, water fountain, benches, landscaping, etc. And in doing that review, the flagpoles are considered structures under the zoning ordinance and the definition of structure. And then further, since there are no specific regulations like we have for fences or parking lot lighting or canopies over drive-throughs, those structures then would have the same setback from a street that any other structure would have. And along Russell Avenue, that's 35 feet. At this particular property, it's 32.5 feet because of an average setback calculation that the code also allows. So in looking at that sequence of interpreting the ordinance, staff felt that a flagpole as a structure would not be that different in terms of impact on the built environment as a canopy over a gas pump or a drive-through lane like at the banks. And that setback is 15 feet. And so we felt it appropriate to bring forward an ordinance that would allow a specific setback regulation for flagpoles in each of our commercial and industrial districts. And so the ordinance that you have in front of you, there are several sections to the ordinance whereby in neighborhood business, in business office, in general business, light industrial, heavy industrial, in each of the districts, you would individually adopt the same language, which reads, flagpoles, including all bases, structures, supports, and lighting, are allowed no closer than 15 feet from any street right-of-way line. You might notice we did not include a separate section and regulation for the central business district. That is because it already has a 10-foot setback from the street for structures. So it already is closer than that 15, so we did not change it and go from 10 to 15 for the central business district. We just left the existing language alone in the central business district. So with this change, then there would only be a couple flagpoles that would not meet the 15-foot setback and would require slight redesign of the site plan. And the other portions of the plan already meet the 32.5-foot average setback requirement. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions. And Mr. Franklin, the property owner and developer of the park, is here as well.
If I may, one clarification that literally just occurred to me, but the site plan and Mr. Franklin's project are what called it to our attention, but you're really voting on the code amendment as it relates to flagpole setbacks, regardless of the specifics of a particular project or site plan.
Right, the site plan will be submitted with their building permit application, and that will be an administrative staff review. This would just give us the ordinance under which to review it. So in any future project, whether that similar Insight Eye Care has a flagpole in front of their property, any of them could take advantage and would apply, this ordinance would apply to them. And I should mention, Planning and Zoning Commission considered this at their meeting last week and recommended approval.
Any questions,
Have any
comments?
questions? Nope.
Nope. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you.
There were no other comments from the public, so that public hearing is closed. Item 17, an ordinance amending chapter 27 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Warrensburg regarding setbacks at flagpoles.
I did have a quick question. I noticed that the planning and zoning findings weren't included in the packet. Unless if I missed it, my apologies.
You are correct.
But it just said recommends approval.
Yes, it said there was compliance with the comp plan. No negative impact on community, and recommended approval.
Move to second reading by title only?
Ridenhour,
Yes.
Osborne,
Yes.
Latari.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Euler.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I'm in the wrong spot. An ordinance amending chapter 27 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Warrensburg regarding setbacks for flagpoles. This is for adoption or rejection. Ridenhour.
Yes.
Osborne.
Yes.
Latari.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Euler.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 17.2, an ordinance authorizing the city manager and the city clerk to execute an agreement with Civic Plus LLC for civic recreation management software for the Parks and Recreation Department. Presented by whom?
Good evening.
Yes,
And
Chris, hi.
Members of the council. Yes, our assistant director, Tony Albertina, has done some fine work and research on this, and he'll be making the presentation.
Great. Thank you, Chris. Welcome, Tony.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Tonight we're having a request for ordinance to have Civic Rec as our software for the Parks and Rec Department. We currently use Civic Plus on the city side, so we've worked with them like with their vendors about getting information, and we evaluated multiple vendors to choose which one we wanted to go. Over the past several months, staff conducted a comprehensive review of recreation management software providers. The two that we spent the most time was RecTrack, which is I'm familiar with from the previous place I worked for, and then Civic Rec. So we had demos with both, and then staff evaluated, and the staff unanimously decided to go with Civic Rec based on the functionalities. And the current software we have now is ActiveNet. It has a lot of issues, reporting softwares, tracking past uses, some billing problems. So just a whole plethora of issues we have with with it. So we wanted something to make staff's time more efficient and also have a better user experience for members of the community. So this will allow people to make changes on their household. We could track passes better. People can renew passes, and then we know like what types of passes they have. It also allows for facility rentals, activity registrations, more customized interfaces for users to make it more friendly for them and give them more control over their household and know what's going on with it. So in the first year, it would be $20,000. And then the second year, we would have the remaining amount, which is 39,000. A big part of it is we have to have some new hardware, credit card readers, scanners, and all that. And then the price after that is around $20,000 annually. And then there's a 5% uplift, which the company agreed to wait till 2028 to implement. So it is, we're really excited about it because like we have all kinds of issues with ActiveNet now. And then we do have members that are upset with stuff because like the software won't record their visits, or people will register for something and it won't take, and we'll have to issue like a refund, or they'll get it sign up for the wrong class. That happens a lot too. The user face isn't very good right now. So like if someone signs up, they'll accidentally sign up for the wrong program, or just all kinds of issues. So we're hoping that after evaluating the demo, this is the route we decided to take, and it works well with the existing software we have with Civic Plus. So if anyone has any questions about the software.
Questions for Tony?
The first year or the first quarter of, I guess it's the last quarter of this fiscal year, the 20,000. So during that period of time, they will take care of transferring your software to the new software and making sure everything is correct. And will you be running parallel to systems?
So if approved, we would sign an agreement with them starting May 1st for the implementation. It takes about the whole software phase moving into it is about 16 weeks. So once we get approved, we'll have like a transition team. A couple of staff members will be involved with like building the interfaces so we can customize like how it looks and everything. So we'll be working on that. They'll transfer all of our member data from the current database we have to the new one. So it will require minimal disruption for users. They should be able to just come in. If someone's hasn't used any of our programs or been a member for like outside of 7-8 years, they may have to re-register their account, but anyone that's recently been used should be in the system, and they'll have to re-register, like register their email address or however they sign up their household, but then most of their stuff should be in there to verify it, and then them opting into receiving like emails and having a membership there.
Okay, and with the new software, will it then meet all of the requirements for accepting credit cards that the city has to, that we have to?
Yes, it would. They have the PCMI encryption, and all the new credit card readers will have that, and it's all cloud-based too, so we don't have to have any servers or anything on site. But yes, everything meets the requirements for encryption. I think they're actually a little bit higher on their standards of encryption and authentication. So
Okay, and I also think that I believe that when people join, they when they commit to monthly payments, that comes out of their bank accounts. So that is going to be secured information.
Yes, it will be secured, and then they'll get notifications too. Like we could set it up where you'll get a notification like, hey, just a reminder, your account will be charged in 7 days, because it's like kind of now like somebody will just get a random account charge on their bill, and then like, what is that? And then we also get a lot of members that are worried their credit card would get stolen, because the credit card company is a secondary company, not from ActiveNet. So it's like whatever the company is. So they're like, what is that charge on my card versus this is like allows us to bid like City of Warrensburg, so they know what that is on their account they're getting charged for.
And then the last question that I have is the 5% annual uplift. So the 5% uplift is on the 39,333, or on the 29,600?
The 29,600, the 39,000 is, since we only budgeted 22,000 this year. We didn't know we kind of had an idea what the software, but we have to buy a lot of new equipment, and then there's staff training, and then the time of the company moving all of our software from for our user information from the current software to the new one. So we're backloading that to the second year so next fiscal year, so we can properly budget for it. But then after that, then the annual charge will be 29,000, but then there's a 5% uplift with like the market, with the cost of labor and just like different technologies increasing year to year.
So the 20,000 is already in your
Correct,
26
yes. We have
budget.
22,000 budgeted this year, but we're only doing 20,000 of it because in case we have any, that gives us a 10% buffer in case we have any other expenditures or anything like that with the moving into it.
Okay, so after 2028, that 29,600, we should only see that be going up
Yeah, around
5%.
Yes.
every year.
Yeah, and we won't be in a contract with them. So like if it gets astronomical, we can evaluate that and decide if we want to continue using the software or if we want to go with them. But that's kind of a minimal increase compared to like what other softwares are charging. So.
Is there an estimated go live date?
Yes, so we're hoping sometime around right after Labor Day. We could theoretically be ready to go by August 1st, but with the swimming pool season and staff we don't want to do that to the people working. That would be like crazy for them to have to switch over in the middle of the busy pool season. So we're looking at like right after Labor Day to implement it. But we didn't want to wait till right at October 1st because that's when our contract with them will end because we paid up through then. So we just want to have a little bit of transition time to be able to like work out any kinks before we just say, hey, we're going to go to this at midnight on October 1st. So.
And if I'm not mistaken, we're using Civic Plus currently on the city side. Are these two systems integrated together?
I believe that as some things like our GIS systems are similar, and the platforms are like technology wise are pretty similar with that too. They work well together and all that. So
am I going to have like one login for the city and one login for Parks and Rec, or like my newsletters and things like that I get through the city? Is that all one thing, or is it all?
I think your user account should work for both. Based on what the guy told me, Nick, the sales rep, told me that they should work similar together. You'd be able to use the same email. You might have to sign up for a couple of different things with the rec department, but it should be able to integrate well with each other.
Very nice. Thank you.
I had a question about is there a way so I got that it says there's built-in email notifications. Do they have the capacity to have those be text?
Yeah, we do have that. That was another great feature we have, and it can even be broke down. So like baseball coaches, they can actually sign up for like a team module, so then they can actually text and email parents. You have to opt into it, so it doesn't leave junk emails, so you're not getting a bunch of them. But yeah, we could set that up where if a member wants to receive text messages like with building closures or class updates, we can set that up. Or like they might only want to get text notifications about fitness classes or pool stuff, so we can use that to send them.
That's great, because I'm all about the text, and I'm trying to get rid of as many emails as I can. And then the last thing I had was just curiosity. It says there are a couple of attachments that I don't think were in the packet, the prospectus and the agreement. Were those supposed to be part of the council letter, or were those?
I think those were on the first email I sent with it, and then I had to readjust the ordinance in the city memo. The prospectus is I think it's about 60 pages long. It's kind of like a case study, and it evaluates all their stuff with compared to different communities and all that. And then the other,
and I like reading this.
Yeah. I could send it to you. I apologize. I thought that was on the first email I sent in, and then I had to redo the ordinance. But the second one was the actual agreement, because for the first, second, and third years on that. So
I would just like to read both of those. Doesn't affect my vote. I mean,
okay, yeah,
you guys,
I can provide it to you. I'm sorry about that.
No, that's okay. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Is it possible to include that in the next board packet so the community can read through that also?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good point. That's all I have.
I'll make sure to attach it.
Okay.
Thanks. Any other questions for Tony?
I just want to add one thing that, City of Sedalia uses this, Blue Springs, several other cities, it's found as an industry standard that people really like the software.
Good. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yep. We have an ordinance.
To second reading by title only.
Pick that up quick. Now.
Yeah.
Still got here. Still got here.
Ridenhour,
Yes.
Osborne.
Yes.
Latari.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Mueller.
Yes.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager and city clerk to execute an agreement with Civic Plus LLC for Civic Recreation Management Software for the Parks and Recreation Department. This is for adoption or rejection. Ridenhour,
Yes.
Osborne.
Yes.
Latari.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Mueller.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 17.3, an ordinance authorizing the city manager and the city clerk to execute an agreement with CAT Excavation, Inc. for the Enterprise Sanitary Sewer Interceptor Project in the city of Warrensburg, presented by Phil Adlitz, Director of Public Works.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members. So I don't know if y'all are aware of where Enterprise Lift Station is. It is on Enterprise Avenue or Northeast 201 Road. It was installed in 1996 and did a fine job. But over the years, due to maintenance costs, due to the growth of the city with the subdivisions going into the west of it, it's become a problem. So in 2022, we started with Owen Engineering, setting it up to, engineer to get it out. With Cahill coming in, we were able to develop a gravity flow sewer main that will be able to connect and will take away the lift station altogether, saving on electricity and maintenance. So we went out and to get bids. We had 3 that were good bids. The lowest was CAT at $961,355. They've done lots of work for us before in the past. They're a good reputable company. To make Terry Hawks very happy, I suggest that we go ahead and approve this ordinance so that we can get this lift station removed, change over to gravity flow, make the sewer system better, handle more flow. Any questions?
I have just a couple, if I may. So I've heard about Enterprise Lift Station for a long time now, but just so I understand where we're going. So Enterprise Lift Station is currently in place. We are ripping that out and we're gonna put that sewer line all the way down to Cahill, basically.
Really, we'll put the sewer line in. The lift station will still be operational until the sewer line's connected, tested. When that's complete, we will disconnect all the pumps, connect the sewer, and it'll flow down to basically from 201 to Cahill. There's a deep enough manhole just to the south of Cahill between the Curtis's property and Cahill property, and it'll be gravity flow.
So is there another lift station on the other end or?
No.
Okay.
Luckily, the city of Warrensburg is very gravity, McGuire is the top and things flow downhill. We have the west plant, we have the east plant. City of Warrensburg now has 5 lift stations. One is Northern Hills Pump Station. It's the one we used to have flow going out in the lagoon north of town. But Northern Hills Pump Station is our largest pump station. It basically does 250,000 gallons a day. It pushes it all to the west plant. Enterprise was the second biggest. Terry will correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know the flow that it pushes, but it pushes stuff to the south of 50 and then back around through gravity flow all the way to the east plant. So we're getting rid of that portion and it'll just go gravity flow all the way to the east plant and pick up there.
And are there cost reductions long-term, not having to maintain that and, okay.
Yeah, because that pump station Terry just had last week to repair a pump. There's only 2 pumps in there. And due to redundancy and, high flows and all that stuff, you need 2. And one of them broke down last week and we had to get a contractor in here to fix it and get it back up and running. That was probably, I don't have the bill yet, but probably wasn't too cheap.
Yeah.
So
Bad
it's been
week for it,
costing us
too.
about $30,000 to $40,000 a year for the last 10 years.
Yep.
And then I would add, in addition to repairs, just monitoring, staff time to go
Yeah,
out and
we
check it on a
every
regular
day.
basis.
How long does that usually take? Is it just a quick
Uh,
in and out or?
It's a quick 20, 30 minutes.
Oh, so substantial. I mean, a good chunk of your day still.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I mean, they have to go there, they have to look at it, make sure it's running, they have to write down hours, they have to write down stuff. And at least once a week, they clean out the pumps due to the rags and trash that gets caught up into the pumps.
Baby wipes.
Flushable, non-flushable.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any questions? Good.
So you said
Thank
we
you.
have 5, we have 5 lift
We have 5.
stations.
There's.
We're gonna do away with 1
Get away with 1.
and the others are still needed because
Yes,
of the way
so-
the land lies.
Yes, the other 3 are small. One over on Water Street has 3 or 4 houses, so very minimal. One out on DD has 2 to 3 businesses. And then one in Northern Hills has 2 to 3 houses, but they're all required due to the elevation of the sewer mains.
Okay, thank you.
But in the future, we don't want any more, so we'll keep it that way.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Nope. All right.
Motion to move to second reading by title only.
Ridenhour,
Yes.
Osborne,
Yes.
Latari,
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Euler.
Yes.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager and city clerk to execute an agreement with Cat Excavation, Inc. for the Enterprise Sanitary Sewer Interceptor Project in the city of Warrensburg. This is for adoption or rejection. Ridenhour,
Yes.
Osborne,
Yes.
Latari,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Euler.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 18.1, a resolution to declare the official intent of the city of Warrensburg by Michael D. Sprague, city manager.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This is a companion item to the item that you just considered, and you may recall that we kind of hustled to take up the question of solar for the sewer plants and for the police department. I meant to send you a text to encourage you to drive by and take a look at the structure that's going up at the police department. It's come a long way. But you may recall that the timing of that was such that we need to get that decision made so that we could be eligible for tax credits. And to do that, we had to make enough progress by the end of the year. So we've worked with Schneider Electric. Phil has taken the lead on that, and that project is progressing. At the time that we did that, we ran cost benefit analysis on the scenarios of rate increases on Evergy's part, as well as financing costs associated with our share of the solar once the tax rebates are received. The reason I'm bringing this to you at this point is that the assumption at that time was that we would lease finance the solar and we would pay cash for the sewer. In talking with lenders, they have more appetite for lending on a sewer project than they might have on a solar project. Not to say that they wouldn't lend on a solar project, but they might ask of us a shorter term. So this keeps our options open. The net financial impact would essentially be the same. We carry some debt for this, pay cash for solar rather than the reverse of that. And so by passing this resolution, all you're doing is declaring some preliminary intent. I can have conversations with our financial advisors and bond counsel and lenders and see which scenario is more palatable. But they prefer that at the time that we authorize a project, we indicate our intent and then we can work through it. So one of the things I would be mindful of is the solar cost isn't as much as the total sewer project cost. So we can take that into account in terms of financing. But as I saw this item go on your agenda, just wanted to keep our options open as we go to market for financing solar and then this project. we wouldn't finance both. We'd do one or the other depending on what the lending community prefers.
So your goal is to try to do the solar first, and if that is not
Right.
well
If-
received.
If the lending community balks at all, then we would have the opportunity to switch over to financing this and paying cash for solar.
And costs end up about the same, or
Yeah, the interest cost presumably would be the same, so.
more project costs, I'm sorry. Or
I'm
the
sorry.
projects, the solar project and the,
Yeah, the sewer project's actually more than the solar project. So one of the things we might need to look at is, I don't know, partial financing of the sewer to match up with those original assumptions. And if we were to borrow more, that reduces our annual costs. It's actually kind of helpful for the overall performance of the fund. But to sync up with the original intentions, we try to basically lease finance the same dollar amount as we originally assumed.
so why not try to lease finance the sewer project and just pay cash on the solar project?
We certainly could, in part just trying to be, I guess, consistent with the original conversation of lease financing the solar. The cost benefit analysis that we did was over the life of the solar equipment, which is longer than probably the lending that we assumed in either instance. But we certainly could, really just trying to be consistent with kind of that original conversation.
Understood.
Any other questions? Nope, we have a resolution in front of us.
Motion to approve resolution.
Ridenhour,
Yes.
Osborne,
Yes.
Latari,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Euler.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you. Item 18.2, a resolution adopting the City of Warrensburg Safety Action Plan and authorizing its submission and use for federal transportation safety grant eligibility, presented by Phil Adlich.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members. I have Jessica Hutton with Burns and McDonald's. She's going to come and give a small presentation on the safe streets for all.
Hope you've enjoyed your evening so far.
Really wonderful to be here. Appreciate the time and the opportunity to present about this project. There are a few slides, I think, so I will try to go through this very quickly, but please keep it conversational. Interrupt me at any time. Ask me whatever questions you'd like to ask along the way. I don't know who is controlling the slide beeper, but I'll just tell you, I guess you can advance. Okay, so just quickly, this is the team, the core team that's been working on this for you. So I've been the project manager through the project. And you might have met some of my colleagues, Maggie, Howard, and Zach, through our TAC meetings and our open house. But this is the team that's been working on it. So we can go to the next slide. These are the things I want to quickly present about. So just an overview of what the Safe Streets program is, and what we talked about early on for Warrensburg's goals with this project. And then what we did in terms of our engagement activities, our safety analysis, our policy review, and then where we stand with our demonstration projects and next steps. So a quick overview of the program. This is a federal grant program. The grants can only go to municipalities and MPOs and local agencies, not to state DOTs. It was 5 years, $5 billion allocated. They award both planning grants and implementation grants. And to get that implementation funding to build your safety projects, you have to have an approved eligible plan. So Warrensburg got the funding for the plan, signed the agreement with Federal Highways in 2024, awarded $280,000 in federal funding with a 20% city match. So that was $70,000 city match. We have just done phase one of that, which is a total of $200,000. We're wrapping up that phase, and that's to get us through the development of this plan and to think about what demonstration projects we want to move forward with. So the remaining $150,000 will be to design and implement those demonstration projects and then study them and write up the results of what we find. Okay, we can move on to the next one. These are the required plan elements that make you eligible to get that additional federal funding through the, another round of grant awards. So you have to have leadership commitment and goal setting. Essentially, someone high up in the city has to say, we are committed to reducing fatalities and serious injuries. There has to be a planning structure defined. data-driven safety analysis, engagement with the community, a review of policies, and then a listing out of strategies and projects that would be that would benefit transportation safety in the city. And then you're also required to post this plan publicly and to report on how you're doing in terms of that plan over time. Okay. So early on, when we were meeting with Phil and other folks at the city, we talked about what does success look like for Warrensburg. So definitely wanted to focus on describing the crash patterns and the impacts on crashes, summarize those engagement activities and how we talk to the public, look at the policies, and come up with a list of projects, which are all requirements. We need to get through the NEPA documentation for our demonstration project. So that's what's still yet to go in this first phase. But we wanted to make sure we were very implementation focused, that we set you up for additional funding opportunities, that you had a plan to move forward with, and that everything that that's laid out in the plan fits into the city's operations. And that everything that we have in the plan reflects stakeholder priorities. So the community and on all of you, what you want to see in the plan. Okay, next slide. So just a really quick look at what our engagement was. We started out with a technical advisory committee. So we had representatives from each of these organizations that you see on the screen kind of helping guide us along the way. We had 4 meetings with them to present what we were finding and get feedback from them on what they were hearing from their constituents. And then on the next slide, these are some of the activities that we did in terms of engagement. So we helped develop content for the website. We had an online mapping survey where people could pinpoint where they were seeing issues and make comments on that. We did some social media graphics and posts for you guys to put up and a project flyer. And then in February, we held a community open house at the library. Some of the key themes that we heard through these engagement findings were lack of sidewalks and pedestrian access. And that's something that we talked with city staff a lot about as well. Intersection came up, some driver behavior things like speeding and distraction and failure to yield. And then some infrastructure condition things like lighting and pavement condition, faded markings, turn lanes, stuff like that. Okay. And then in our crash analysis, really high level, we just looked at how many crashes are occurring each year. You know, luckily we have very few fatalities, but any fatality is too many fatalities in the community. So we tried to break this out by MoDOT owned roads and then city owned roads, things that where you have the opportunity to make improvements without having to involve MoDOT, but also recognizing that there are areas where it'd be good to partner with MoDOT to make safety improvements. And so we break these down the way MoDOT does in terms of fatal, serious injury, minor injury, and property damage only. We try to focus on fatal and serious injury because those are the ones that really impact people's lives. Okay, if we go to the next slide. This just shows a breakdown of crash types. The inner ones are those serious crashes. The outer side of that donut are all the property damage only. And so we see a lot of angle crashes, which is pretty typical at intersections. Those tend to be the most severe. We have some severe rear end crashes, some out of controls. So those are all things that we looked at. And then we also tried to take a special look at peds and bikes, what we often call vulnerable road users. And so we didn't have any fatalities in that space, which is really great. But looking at risk, you know, there's some opportunities to make the city easier for people to navigate when they're not in vehicles. So that was another thing we paid attention to. On the next slide, this is just a heat map of where those crashes are occurring. You may notice that McGuire lights up that page. You know, I think this is really due to just a lot of intersections, a lot of driveways, a lot of people going in and out. It's your major thoroughfare through north-south through town. So not necessarily surprising. And we did acknowledge that with the completion of the McGuire project, some of these might be mitigated. So this crash data just goes through 2024. And so for some of those intersections, we might want to wait and see a little bit if they improve from the recent project. But this also gives us a good opportunity when we're looking for other funding to say, hey, these are the spots that are lighting up. So if we have projects in these areas, we have some justification for them. Okay, next slide. These are the areas where we ended up recommending. This is your project list, essentially. So circles are intersections. bold lines are segments. You probably can't read them there. They're in the plan in a couple of different tables. Purple represents what we identified just from the crash data analysis, and then yellow circles and lines are ones that were added on just based on what we heard from the community. Okay, next slide. A quick look into policy. So we did look at the city's comprehensive plan. We looked at kind of what the sidewalk improvement program looks like now, and we skimmed through the municipal code. And then after several conversations with the city, some of the top things that came up for possible policy improvements would be to update that sidewalk prioritization program to make it a little more data-driven. And then to think about if the city might want a policy on e-bikes, e-scooters, and other micromobility. This is something that all the cities that we're working with are really struggling with right now. Not an easy answer, but something that the city could do in the future. We talked about the traffic commission and seeing if there are ways to really incorporate a better understanding of MUTCD requirements and some things like that into that traffic commission. And then another opportunity would be for the city to develop complete streets guidelines to supplement your street design standards.
Quick question on that. Can you define what complete street guidelines means?
Yeah, so complete streets is really kind of the idea that within a city, you want to make the streets a transportation network for all users and not just for motor vehicles. So you kind of go beyond your design standards that just make sure a car or a truck or a fire truck can navigate this and make sure, like, can a pedestrian navigate this? Can someone in a wheelchair navigate this? Are these appropriate speeds for the land use types, things like that?
Understood. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the last part of this first phase is the demonstration project. So in the city's grant agreement with FHWA, there was a part that was originally intended to demonstrate some improvements along the McGuire corridor with the intention that then they could be incorporated into the McGuire project. But the timeline of FHWA getting the funding for this project and then the McGuire project didn't align that way. So we're still kind of working with FHWA to figure out, okay, how can we stay within the terms of the grant agreement, but do something that makes sense for Warrensburg, given that the McGuire project is finished. We're looking at potentially adding some bike shared use markings on an east-west route to connect Holden to more like McGuire and some of the downtown areas. And we're looking at a couple places where we might try to demonstrate access management, which might mean tightening up or closing some driveways. And then potentially a median area that would just help restrict some turning maneuvers in places where that might be beneficial to safety. So we intend to come back. I think Mike and Phil, the intention would be to come back to a future meeting and finalize those demonstration projects with all of you. So we will try to get environmental clearance on those so that Federal Highways will go ahead and give the go ahead to design and implement them. And then next steps, the last part that I have here, for you guys to hopefully approve and adopt the safety action plan. And this will allow you all to submit a grant application in this final round of funding that is live right now for the Safe Streets for All program, which is due by May 26th. So to be able to submit a new application for some implementation funds, the plan has to be approved before then. And then we'll be working on that environmental clearance and the demonstration projects moving forward. So I'm happy to take any questions.
When you come back with the plan, will it include diagrams or something visually that we can see what you're talking about?
Absolutely. Yep.
So I realized that this conversation was going on. The plan was not attached to the packet, which was unintentional. So what she's describing, bringing back to you, are details related to the demonstration projects. But the intention was that you, and I don't even know how many pages that document is. I've read it from beginning to end twice now. It's substantial, and it doesn't adopt any policies. It's just purely guidance, but staff has gone through it in great detail. So I would completely understand if you are not comfortable adopting it this evening, and we can get it in your hands for your review.
I don't have an issue with adopting it this evening. I just like to be able to see
Sure.
that something, when you're talking about putting a median in a street someplace, well, like where and how would that work? If I like to see something.
Yes.
Yep,
Yeah.
and that was the intent all along with the demonstration projects. The other thing that I would tell you is her PowerPoint does a very good job of distilling what the plan, so it conveys the content of the plan.
Yes.
And Mike made a good point that I meant to make earlier, that there's nothing in this is the safety action plan, is 38 pages, that obligates you to fund or do anything. It's just sort of, here's where we recognize there's need and here's some suggested improvements for those. So as you find funding, this is maybe where you want to allocate. But what we're trying to do with the new grant application is some of those intersections just north and just south of US 50 on McGuire that lit up bright purple. We want to get funding to address those intersections. So we have those in the plan.
Yeah, I think the other thing that you'll find of interest is there is a prioritized list of intersections in addition to the heat map, and it goes, I forget how many it includes, but I find it very interesting to see kind of that priority progression through the intersection.
I appreciate your PowerPoint, and everything you presented tonight. I know that this has been an ongoing conversation for quite a while. I will say that, I would like to look at the plan before approving it, just before we take a position on it. So I will, probably vote no at this time, but if we could look over that and look at it for next city council meeting, I'd appreciate that. I do think that it is important we get, application in before the May 26th deadline though.
Yeah, in fact, I think if you, without formal vote, if you're generally in agreement, I think that's enough for us as staff and consultants to continue on the application side of things, and we could bring back the item for adoption once you had the opportunity to see the plan.
And I have one printed copy that I'm happy to just leave with you guys if you want to glance through it tonight.
Thank you.
So just to confirm, what you said is if we don't approve it tonight so that we have a chance to actually read it, we will not be jeopardizing the application.
Yeah, we'll continue to prepare the application and bring that back to you and stay on track for May 26th. I'm
Okay.
saying all that without having conferred.
Yeah, the only issue would be if you see something in the plan that you don't like and we have to go back and resolve it. It needs to be adopted before May 26th or the application can't be submitted.
Gotcha.
Is there a possibility of us getting it on the next?
Definitely.
27th.
Yeah, but it's in final form. We just need to get it in your hands.
Apparently I forgot to attach. My mistake. But we have it in email form that we needed out to you.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Being that it was on the agenda, do we need a table, move to the table? I would like to make a motion to table this discussion to the April 27th, 2026 meeting.
I second that motion.
Ridenhour,
Yes.
Osborne,
Yes.
Latari,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Euler.
No.
Okay. But 4-1 motion carries.
Thank you. Item 19, appearances to the council not listed on the agenda. There are none. No one stepping forward. Miscellaneous matters from the city council. Anyone have anything? Great. City staff update, city manager.
The one big ticket item to discuss with you is just the fact that we're getting started on orientation and we are a go for Wednesday of this week. The intention is to meet at the community center at 8:30, and then we'll be on a driving tour the bulk of the day. I believe you have, you schedule at your seats. I've done this a number of times and I can't think of a single time where we weren't running behind schedule after the first stop. So I'm just gonna forewarn you that I'll probably be saying, we gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta keep moving.
Keep
And
us on
if you look at that schedule, A couple of things. I did try to inventory all of our property, all of our locations in the community and build them into a driving tour. It does not include anything in this campus, thinking that we could do that before a meeting, not have to provide transportation. So it is logically arranged to try to progress through the community, but it is a very tight timeframe. But trying to provide you information and have representatives available at some of the locations when we arrive to give you a little bit of an overview. With that, we've got a couple of other orientations. One a day blocked out for kind of the more mundane mechanical things, and a half day blocked out for financial review, which for those of you that were on the council last year, a lot of that will be an update of that conversation that we had. So really accomplish two things: good orientation and then a good preface as we go into budget. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thanks for doing all that work. I know it's a lot of scheduling, a lot of like
I'm already nervous about the timeline, but we will.
Not that any of us like to talk or ask questions. I don't know why you're worried.
Thank you, Mike. That's a tornado watch. I think we just got on our phones.
Thank
Did
you. I
have
was
that?
wondering.
It runs to 11 PM is what it says. That's what
Right.
mine said. I don't know. if
Thanks.
Chief,
Here?
that's right. Yeah, Henry Johnson counties.
Yeah. To watch, just to watch. Thank you.
City staff update, Administrative Services Department.
The audit, anticipate to bring that to the next meeting. For those of my finance staff, they do wonderfully getting that all together and ready for the auditor and all the numbers and reports they need. And as a reward, they get to work on the budget really early, so we're already kicking that off soon. That's all I got for you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica.
City clerk.
Thank you. What did I have? I wanted to point out MML annual conference is always very challenging to make sure that we get our reservations and our place to go. It's not until September, but the registration opens the end of April. So unless you have a direct conflict with that date, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that we have a spot available. The other thing I wanted to point out was the managing the records for the city has become interesting. We've been holding biannual shredding dates, and that seems to be clicking now with all departments. And not only are we shredding documents according to the retention schedule, we had 40 boxes of paper records that we were able to shred this past week. But we are also receiving electronic records too that have met their retention. And so we're cleaning up some of that as well. So I'm happy to say that all the departments are participating and things are going well. So I'll let you know.
Sounds good.
Sure.
Thank you, Katie.
And related to the MML conference, I know you talked, I don't know, a few months ago about the fact that we have a regularly scheduled city council meeting, and so we'll need to figure out a new date for that. So we don't need to deal with that now, just a FYI, we know there's a city council meeting.
That's right.
And
That's right.
You're working on getting that rescheduled.
We're prepared and ready to go with that too. So,
Thank you. Community Development,
Nothing additional to the written report in the packet.
Fire Department.
The March report is in the packet, but I just wanted to make note of a kind of a neat milestone here. April will be 1 full year of fully staffed retention of staff. So no one's left since last April. Said it a few times now, but I have faith, so.
Congratulations.
It's fantastic.
It's
Great news.
Thank you. Parks Department.
Yeah, just a couple of real quick things, Mayor and Council. On the 29th of April, Wednesday, right before Park Board meeting at 5 o'clock, we'll have a ribbon cutting for the front desk of the and lobby area of the community center. So hope you all can attend that. And also on May 9th, which will be a Saturday, at 10 o'clock, we're gonna have ribbon cutting for the reinstatement of the Parks Foundation at Hawthorne Park. The committee wanted to do it there because that's gonna be the first project they're gonna donate to the Sensory Garden Trail. So those are two that are coming up pretty quick, but I just want to let you know.
Thanks, Chris.
Wanted to say thank you, and also thank you, City Manager Sprague, for your presentation last week at the library. It was a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
very
that.
good. Yeah. Police Department,
Have nothing in this one.
Public Works.
So Lions Lake, we went and visited the floating dock manufacturer. We're hoping that mid-May it'll be put in, but I'm guessing more towards the end of May. So hopefully that project will be wrapping up in the near future. I know they were working on asphalt last week. So lots of stuff going on there. We've got Market Street curb is getting worked on. I think it's supposed to be done this week, at the end of this week. Then they'll be moving on to Railroad. The plant expansion is going well. The solar panels, police department, the canopies are up. They still got to wire a bunch of stuff together and run it into the building. East plant canopies are really just panels are up. West plant, they were working on that this week. The other little projects, now the Enterprise lift station, got lots of things going on. So
On Lions Lake, I was walking through over the weekend. I noticed there's quite a bit of washout on the new part of the trail around on the
Is
south
there?
side.
all right, I'll see if the contractor, because he's still here and still around, if we can get that cleaned up
Okay,
before it runs away.
thank you.
Thank you.
I have two questions. On the plant.
Mhm.
The new,
Expansion,
yes,
okay.
you've been talking for some time about a leak.
So. it
Is the
was-
leak gone?
It's a leak, it's a very slow leak. Around the foot valves, the mud valves. So they went and they put epoxy around it. They did drain the tank again and they went and epoxied those areas. They haven't retested it yet. So
At what point is having a small leak, any leak?
bad thing.
Yeah, where it's time to dig it up, start over,
Well, this would be a very expensive dig up. It's,
but there shouldn't be a leak.
yeah, there shouldn't be any leaks, but. So the mud valve is a valve that they put, they pour the concrete and they put a valve in there. And the valve itself is a mechanical valve, so if water comes up underneath, it allows the water to come in. And it doesn't float the concrete tank, right? So a leak going out into that area is not a super significant problem, but they want to prevent it as much as possible. It's not contaminating the ground. If it contaminates, it'll be way deep. We'll just go through the creek. Because of the location, there's a bunch of gravel. It will just run to the creek, but it'll be filtered out through the gravel and all the rock and ground. But the epoxy that they put in will probably solve the issue. It's not the first time that they've done these things. On one of our tanks, the cement wasn't 100% vibrated out in certain areas. They had to epoxy that area to prevent leaks. So they know what they're doing with the epoxy. They just had to find it and resolve the issue.
So they've located the leak.
Yeah, they knew where it was after it started.
I'm just thinking a leak, if it's leaking now and it continues, it just gets worse.
Yeah, it was such a minor leak that it's not like a water pipe leak where it's under pressure all the time, squirting out. This was at the very bottom and it was just leaking through a a metal ring. It was just going by that and going out. So it wouldn't be as you would think in your house. It would just seep into the ground because it was an inch over 24 hours of 750,000 gallons. And it went down an inch. So very small.
So if it helps at all, my takeaway is known problem, known source, known solution. We are testing. We'll just stay in that cycle till it's fixed.
They
It's not a,
tested it again.
Okay, so it's not done until it's not leaking.
Yep.
Okay. The other question I have is, we were really good when we were doing McGuire Street about keeping everybody notified of closures, tearing up sidewalks or tearing up curbs. I haven't looked at, you worked on Market, but
We're
now
working
you're
on
working on Railroad. And there's people, some businesses where their business sits right on the sidewalk. And they have, so if you're working on the sidewalk or the curbs, they have no other way to get into their building. They don't have a back alley. They do have a back entrance, but they don't have a back alley. And the contractor's gonna need to work with them when the sidewalk is poured, for vehicles, for
So this is the
pedestrians.
curb. Right now, Market Street is the curb, not sidewalk. We have a separate program. The sidewalk won't be in the market area.
Okay, it's Railroad I'm talking about.
Railroad is all south of the street and it'll be all curb. We will make sure that we.
No
try to identify-
sidewalk,
No sidewalk on,
only curb.
only curb
On the south side.
on the south side.
That's not gonna hurt anybody.
I hope not, but we will notify the businesses while we're out there. that-
Okay, I thought they both streets were getting curbs and sidewalks.
This project that's going on right now is curb and ADA. So if there's any disability areas, the corners basically where the handicapped have the bump,
Are they gonna get a new street?
no. Well, so
I thought that was gonna be
Railroad
overlaid
is getting
too.
an overlay, is getting a mill and overlay, and Market is getting widened and a mill overlay.
Market is getting to the end of,
To the entrance of Casey's.
yes. And then Railroad is going, the entire railroad from Holden to McGuire is going to be overlaid.
So it only. I
That's
think
what,
it's to college.
it only goes to McGuire.
Well, McGuire to college,
I have the picture from,
then I'll have to go review it, but
but don't change it.
I'm okay.
Because I've already told,
I understand, yeah,
We're working from memory and we're not confident, so we'd have to go back and look at whatever the original map was. is
that's what it's
the
gonna
plan.
be.
we'll get it done.
All right, well, if you're not doing sidewalks on the north side of Railroad, there's not gonna be a problem. When you do the overlay on the entire street of Railroad from Holden to McGuire, then they'll just need to be notified.
Yes, and they will be notified.
Okay,
They'll have
thank-
door hangers and
Thank you very much.
you're very. The other?
Warrensburg Convention Visitors Bureau,
Nothing additional.
some drains.